Hey everybody, thanks for joining me today. It's been a while since our last video blog, and like a lot of other businesses since the pandemic, we've kind of streamlined our workflows and our processes, and our different look here kind of reflects that. But anyways, in today's vlog, we're going to give a brief update on CMMC, where we are now, and what DoD contractors should be doing. Now, the most significant recent development is that last December, DoD finally issued its first set of program regulations for CMMC. Now, for contractors that may be new to federal contracting or that have ignored CMMC up to now, we're going to talk a few minutes about what CMMC is. Now, CMMC stands for Cybersecurity Maturity Model Certification, and CMMC is the Department of Defense's proposed program for minimizing malicious intrusions into government and contractor information systems. Now, the purpose of CMMC is to put into place verification and certification mechanisms to ensure that contractors are actually implementing already existing cybersecurity standards. Now, the cybersecurity standards that contractors have to meet have been in place since about 2015, but up to now, verification has been largely based on an honor system where contractors perform self-assessments and then they report their own assessments. Well, CMMC now imposes a certification requirement. Now, we've covered CMMC in webinars and other video blogs, and we plan to put out a more detailed review of the proposed regulations in the near future. But for now, at the risk of oversimplifying things, I'll sum up the program in just a few points. So first, under CMMC, DoD contractors that have certain kinds of information in their systems are going to have to certify that they meet certain cybersecurity standards in order to contract with DoD. Second, under the program, there are 3 certification levels with increasing safeguarding requirements as you go up to each higher level. And third, the level that contractors will have to be certified at will be specified in solicitations and contracts, and the level will largely depend on the type of information and the sensitivity of the information that contractors will have in their systems. And fourth, for certain kinds of level 2 certifications, contractors are going to have to obtain assessments by third-party private companies. And then for level 3 certifications, contractors will have to have assessments performed by DoD itself. So that's CMMC in a nutshell. And the first set of regulations that DoD issued in December, for the most part, tracks the informal guidance that DoD has recently issued that projected what the program would look like. Now, a few things to keep in mind about the proposed regulations. Now, first, those regulations are not yet final. The public comment period ended in February, and so now it's a waiting game to see what the final regulations will look like and what tweaks DoD is going to make depending on the comments that were turned in. Now, another thing to keep in mind is that DoD has yet to issue any proposed FAR or DFARS regulations that contracting officers can use in order to implement the program into their contracts. The regulations that DoD did issue in December were issued not under FAR or DFARS, but in a different part of the federal regulations. Now, that means we still don't have the proposed DFARS clauses that are going to be inserted into solicitations and contracts that presumably will specify the particular level that applies to a particular procurement. But at some point, I know DoD is going to issue those proposed DFARS regulations, and presumably there's going to be some public comment period on those proposed regulations. So that's where we are now. So what should DoD contractors be doing now? Well, as we know, DoD has been kicking the CMMC can down the road for the better part of 5 years, but in a recent video that DoD released in February, it made it very clear that it was going to start phasing in CMMC into government contracts by fiscal year 2025. Now, this assumes that there isn't going to be any intervening judicial action or intervening legislation, and I might touch on that possibility in a future vlog. But regardless, verification of cybersecurity standards and cybersecurity compliance is a top priority for DoD, and it's going to be required in some form. So the first thing that DoD contractors should do is they should be making a realistic assessment about whether cybersecurity standards apply to them. I mean, even today, after all that's been said about CMMC, there are still a number of DoD contractors that still think that cybersecurity standards only apply if contractors have access to highly sensitive DoD information or access to weapon systems. But the kind of information that triggers the cybersecurity safeguarding requirements is fairly broad. So one category of information is federal contract information. And if I had to guess, I would say that most, if not all, federal contractors have some form of federal contract information in their systems. And then another category of information is controlled unclassified information, which also may be a much larger category than contractors realize. So if, for example, a contractor is in construction or in the trades and it has access to detailed floor plans or specifications for DoD facilities, well, that might be enough to trigger some of the higher level certification requirements. So all DoD contractors need to know exactly where they stand in terms of the cybersecurity standards and whether those standards apply to them. The second thing the contractors should be doing, assuming that the standards apply, is immediately and rigorously documenting their compliance with each of the safeguarding requirements if they're not doing that already. Now again, CMMC is about verification, so it's not enough just to be complying with the standards. Contractors need to put themselves in a position to be able to demonstrate, if necessary, that they're complying. So the goal should be to have documentation in place that can withstand review or scrutiny by an outside party. Now, presumably, DoD contractors already have in place at least basic system security plans or plans of action because those are already required under the standards, which I've said have been in place for a number of years. But again, DoD's focus now is on verification, possibly by a third party. So a very basic or general system security plan that a contractor can read and say, well, I know this means I'm meeting requirements X, Y, or Z. Well, that might not be enough. First, the documentation needs to make sense to an outside party. And secondly, a system security plan alone may not be enough to prove to an outside party compliance with each of the requirements. And the level of documentation that may be required to prove compliance to an outsider for some companies, particularly small businesses, may consume a disproportionate amount of management time, energy, and resources, especially if you consider that there are at least 110 separate safeguarding requirements for level 2 certification. Now, fiscal year 2025 is right around the corner. So the sooner the contractors have all their plans reviewed and their documentation put in place, the better. Well, that's all I have for today. Thanks for joining me, and do look out for our future webinars or vlogs on CMMC.